We got Mr. Justin Fankhauser. Come up. Don't judge a book by its cover is his topic tonight. And he's the owner and director of Top Lot Locksmiths in Melbourne. Justin is 39, lives in Northcote with his wife Jo, his two kids Jensen and Lily, and a chihuahua called Molly. He has had an interesting life, leaving school at the age of 15, becoming a fully qualified pastry chef at the age of 19, travelling the world at 21 and living in England for 3 years, where he married his wife that at the age of 23. You got married?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Take problem, I like to believe.
He has had some interesting moments in his life and that have made him what he is today. Tonight, Justin will talk about how he has overcome some major obstacles in his life. Why, you ask? Because Justin has a massive passion to show people anything can be done, and that if he can do it, so can you. Not just in business, but in life too. Remember, you must climb the mountain to see the view. So Justin hopes you enjoyed his chat tonight with you guys. Give him a hand.
Speakers here, so don't critique me after this. That's real good. Just getting back on, you must climb the mountain to see the view. What interests me in business and in life, that sometimes we have the perception of seeing other people and we think, wow, they've made it. And in my life, I've always wanted to be like that in my life and my business. I've had a lot of people come up to me lately in the last couple of weeks. I've had a really good couple of months, obviously, with my business. And what really I find interesting is people don't realise that we're all vulnerable. Does anyone have that kind of, to put your hand up if you have one of those, you feel sometimes in life and in business in general, we don't have to go in the right decision or doing the right move. So the talk tonight, I want to talk a little bit about my life, why I went into the business I did and how I started my business. Now, obviously, I want to write a book later on in the year about my life and how I've gone through some obstacles. I'm not going to bore you with all of it tonight, but I had some major things happen in my life that guided me to where I am today. I can remember, obviously, I was, my mum and father, my dad was a police officer and my mother was a legal secretary, and I lived in Ivanhoe. And I remember at school, I remember I was always put in the back of the class because they thought I was a bit of a crazy kid and didn't listen. But what actually that I did have, I actually had a problem with hearing when I was a young kid. I had some grommets in my ears, and it took me 3 years to actually get over that. And it's actually affected my life now, right up to my age of 39 today. Look, it was interesting because, this was a hard time in my life because I lost a lot of education. I lost all the basics. It was like riding a bike without training wheels, So it was a really big thing in my life that I had to kind of get over. From leaving from Ivanhoe, my father went up to Whittlesea. He was a police officer, and I did my schooling at school. I was never really good at school because I missed out on those basics. And look, I'm not giving you the boo-hoo story that I had it all bad, because we all have things happen in our lives, but I just want to show you what I've done to try to change my direction in life. At school, I found it very difficult. I was always a very funny guy. I was outgoing. I was the clown of the class. Why? Because that's how I communicated. Because I wasn't very smart at adding up or writing, getting to do that. Believe it or not, I wrote a book, and next actually can understand what I'm talking about here. It's mumbo jumbo. I've got crap everywhere. But I can remember going to school, going to high school. I was 15, and school wasn't for me. I left school to become a pastry cook by trade. I did year 8 education and halfway through year 9. One day after I was 15, I was out of there. So I was only a puppy dog, I went and learned to become a pastry cook, and that's what I wanted to do. Living in my hometown, I lived a little bit outside of where I lived. I worked at a bakery there with a really good mate of mine that I had a really great friendship with. And unfortunately, that mate actually passed away at a very young age. He actually committed suicide. And it really hurt me and really defined me for what I am today. I had, obviously with some other stuff that happened throughout my life, I thought to myself, life isn't easy. And to climb the mountain to see the view, it's a really hard step. And when we do get there, don't ever think that you're the only one that can get there. Because I look at other people and I think, wow, I wish I could be like that. And now that I've built myself up in this life, I sometimes have people say that to me, but I always feel a little bit insecure in my life for what I've done. So, getting back onto that, it was a very big moment in my life. I was 18 at the time when my mate committed suicide. It really defined me as a person. I actually found it very, very hard throughout my 20s to kind of live my life. It was very difficult, and I come across a lot of hurdles in life. I thought, well, geez, education was a big thing for my life. Look, I was a qualified baker. I ended up qualifying in that. At the age of 21, I decided to go overseas and kind of run away from a few of my dramas. I went overseas and look, I had an amazing 4 years of my life. I got married over there with my wife. I've been married now for 16 years. I've got 2 beautiful kids, and I don't think any other woman could put up with me because I'm a bit crazy. Pretty much I come back from overseas. I had time in my 20s, and this is something I wanted to convey to people, that sometimes in life it's what you get out, it's what you get back. And it took me a long time in my life to understand that. I was probably a fairly angry person, not that I was a violent person, but I was always about me, not about everyone else. In my 20s, that's what my life was. I didn't have a great life. You know, people go, wow, Justin, you're a very nice bloke and outgoing. And in my 20s, I was the type of guy that it was about me. And my own father always said to me, in the book of life, there's no such thing as it's easy. It's not easy. It's not written nowhere. And in my late 20s, I had a funny situation. I decided I wanted to change my career, and I found it hard. It was back in 1990, 95. It was hard to get work. I was going for jobs to pack boxes, and they wouldn't give me a job because I wasn't educated. And I thought, oh, well, you know, what do I do? Do I crawl up the ball or learn something? And it was quite a funny story. I was working as a baker at the time, and it was previous, about 6 months before that, I got robbed in my house in Northcote. I lived in Ivanhoe, and I locked myself out one night. And the funny thing was that this guy came, I worked all night Friday night in the bakery for $120. And this bloke's come and picked open my door, bang, opened it up. And the funny thing in life is when things happen bad in your life, and talking about my friend and my hearing problems throughout my life, there's always something good that comes out of it. Do you know what I mean? One thing when I had was a young boy, determination. I'm a very determined person, you know, I will not give up. And when my friend passed away, I thought, you can't give up in life. It's not a stage where it's got to have a bit of a crack. Getting back on it, the guy picks open the door, $120. I thought, wow, this is great. And I was talking to him, I thought, this is really interesting, you know. It's a great job, go back and learn it, you'll love it. That's what I did. I went back to school. I nearly killed myself doing it. I went back to school 2 nights. I was working Monday to Friday, helping a friend. I kind of got out of the baking industry, doing some store work. I worked Monday night in a bakery, Tuesday night at school, Wednesday night in a bakery, Thursday night at school, and Friday night working in a bakery. I did that for 2 years, you know. And what I'm trying to portray is, hey, look, we all do it hard in life, you know what I mean? But you just got to keep pumping, because I never ever thought to this day that where I would be for today. So obviously I went back to my schooling, and then I thought I'd start my own business. I thought, I can do it. Everyone said, no, you won't be successful in what you do. I went to someone, I can't, don't do it, you're stupid. Dad, no, don't do it, you're mad. I had about 47 jobs in my life, and I thought, no, I want to do something for me. So I ended up starting my business up. Now, why did I start my own business? It's obviously because my whole dream in my life was to own a van, a phone, and make $1,000 a week. That was it. If I got there, I was a millionaire in my own life, you know? And, mate, I've truly succeeded that in my life. Look, yeah, just getting back on it, sorry. So I ended up opening my own business. I remember the night I come back. It was a tough time. This one's sort of about vulnerability. Everyone's got it. I've got it. Everyone's got it. Richard Branson's got it. You know, and that's one thing I want to portray to people, that we're all human. And sometimes, as I said before, some people look at me and go, you've been really successful, but I still feel that vulnerability within myself. And I think everyone does, and that's what I'm trying to portray. And I remember I come home when I resigned to start my own business, and I come home, I sat on the couch, I was 25 and I cried like you wouldn't believe. I was like a little kid. I sat in the corner, my wife came over and hugged me and said, mate, you've got to have a crack here, Justin. You know, you've done what you've done, you've started your own business up, you've saved up $5 grand, you've got it all decked out, off you go. Well, I woke up in the morning and I thought to myself, well, you know what? I've got to start climbing the mountain because I'm not going to see the view. I'm just going to be stuck in life, you know. So I went out and I bloody, you know, hit the streets and handing out business cards and people laughing at you, going to agents where they don't want to know you. I slowly but surely, I got my business going, and that was 11 years ago. I now have got 10 workers in my business, and you know, look, I turned over $40,000 in my first year, and look, I'll tell you what, I turned over well over $1 million, you know. Turnover's vanity, profit's reality, I mean, that doesn't matter. I'm on the other side, you know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is that in life is hard, and business is hard as well. And that's what some people don't kind of understand, that sometimes we hit brick walls. We always have that vulnerability of where we are in our business lives. You know, it's important that, you know, we keep going and go forward in our lives, you know. Now, there were some big things that I think in my business, why my business is so successful, and this is something I'd like to explain to people. I don't sell a product, I sell me. You know, we've spoken about that before. Classic example is Richard Branson. He's one of my idols. That guy could sell bloody Smarties to 2-year-old kids and people would buy them and they got food on them. And that's the difference in my business. When I first started my business, I looked at every other locksmith and I thought to myself, what do they do that I'm going to beat them at? And one of them was, obviously, I'm going to sell myself as my product, not locksmithing. I'll tell you now, like my lovely, everyone knows the way. I go to parties, they might have my guts, and they go, I know that Justin, he's a locksmith. So that's what I sell. So in my business, I did some different things that everyone else did. One thing I did, professional. Very professional what I do. Okay, I might be a jokester and you know, when it comes to business, I'm very professional. I market my business extremely well, okay? I make sure we look very, very professional what we do. You know, another thing too, credibility. Credibility, guys. You know, look, I can't stress highly enough. If you have a look at my website, hopefully it's a good website when you look at it, videos, reviews. People want to sell off someone. They don't want to buy something. The difference is in business, I can have 10 locksmiths up there that are going to fix that lock on that door. I can guarantee you now we'll all do the same job. But why are they going to pick me? And that's what I did in my business. So professional, credibility, reviews were the major things, but also sold me. And one thing I do highly stress in anyone that goes in business, if you're going to start a new business, obviously you might start when someone's in business, be prepared to work 80 hours a week, mate. All right? Some people go, oh, it's time management. Time management's great. I do time management, but you've got to work hard in business. Because I'll tell you now, Lindsay Fox said, the harder I work, the luckier I become. And I'll tell you now, 3 months ago, if you hadn't said I was going to be on Channel 7 Sunrise, mate, I would have laughed in your face and walked off. I'm telling you right now. And some people, this week it's been a bit of an eye-opener for me. That's why I'm talking about vulnerability and thinking that I've made it. I still don't think I've made it. I've got miles to go. But at the end of the day, 3 months ago, if you hadn't said I was going to be on TV, I would never have thought I was going to do that. So, obviously in business, it's really important to be different. Be different, mate. Like, you see all these people and they sell the same crap, you know? I go to someone that's different. Quirky, someone I can talk to, someone I can have a laugh with. When I walk away, you might have charged me 150, you might have got $100 down the road, but you know what? I had a great time. I've got the product, I sold himself, and that's what I do in my business. Another thing I really highly recommend in business is I'm always contactable in my business. Always. Nothing more PQs me. When I ring a business owner and ask proof that I'm the man and I do this, and you ring them and it goes on message me. If you ring my phone is on 24 hours, 7 days a week. Right? And if you miss me, you leave a message, I'll ring you back. Very, very important in business. Now, how long have I got to go, mate?
You talk very fast. You've got 8 minutes.
Oh, I've got 8 minutes.
Yeah, 8:40.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I'm nearly running out of room, mate. And I'll tell you what, in between this, if you want to ask some questions, I'm quite happy to ask
We'll
them.
stop at 5 to go.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think there'll be more questions.
That's okay. Look, obviously, that's what I'm trying to say, obviously, in business, that life is a journey, okay? It's not a stage show, right? We've got to crack on through and have a bit of a go in life. That's the way I live my life, okay? I don't look back, I have a bit of a crack. But sometimes in life, we always get to that point in business. I've been there plenty of times, you know, like, I've had some massive things happen in my business, and, you know, I can crap on and on about it, but I've got through to now, and I know I'll get through the next 10 years, you know? So what I want to take to you guys is sometimes, maybe you might see myself and say, wow, you know, you've been really successful. I feel just as vulnerable as you guys do. So there will be times in your business where you want to give up. And I've had that in my life when I've had times when I think, you know, this is bullshit, you know, I've had enough, I'm just going to be a worker the rest of my life and just be someone. I've always made sure that I make sure I go that extra mile in life. Before I take some questions, I was going to say a couple of little things. In life, do things because they're hard, not because they're easy, mate. How many people I see in life, they go, I can't do that, that's too hard, I'll go and do the easy bit. It's one thing I've always done in my life, and I make a dick out of myself when I do it sometimes, but I learn out of it. Is I always do the hardest things. For me to come up here tonight, it hasn't been easy for me. I've drove up here tonight going, I'm so nervous, my mouth's dry, I make a dick out of myself. It doesn't worry me, because at the end of the day, I've done it because it's hard. Because I'll wake up tomorrow morning and I'll go, you know what? Probably wasn't the best at it. I had a bit of a crack. I'll be better next time. A lot of people walk away, and that's one thing in my life I've always instilled in myself and my father is always have a go, mate. Don't do it because it's easy. Everyone can do everything because it's easy. Do it because it's hard, mate. And I do that in my business too. People go, oh, I don't want this done because it's too hard. I'll do it. Even if I know I can't do it, I'll do it. I'll get it sorted. And that's why successful has been in that style of business. So that's one of my sayings. Now, one last little saying I like this, and I I went to an 80th birthday party, and this one's a little bit tweaked a bit, but I went to an 80th birthday party the other week, and the guy said this little speech at the end, and I just thought, mate, you know it, wrong. Just listen to this, I like it. But if you don't like it, bad luck as I do. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but to rather skid broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride. And that's what wow. I hope you enjoyed my talk. I was a little bit nervous. I love it. Yeah, go ahead, mate. Oh, sorry, mate.
I was going to add something before we take your questions.
Yeah, that's it.
I wanted to explain to everyone why I asked Justin to talk tonight, because we've been mates now for 6 months and through this journey, and it was about his mindset. I know a lot of you in the room are coaches and learning mindset, so as I did, but this guy has learned mindset through experience. And when we sit down and talk, we come from these two different worlds, but it's just like he gets me, I get him, and you can just see how he's just worked it out all on his own. And he's the most entrepreneurial person I've ever met.
Oh, thank you very much.
We sit down, we come up with these ideas, I come home and go, Stuart, come on, we're going to do this. And he goes home and it's like, you've had lunch with Justin. That is why I brought him. I thought it was, even though it's not sort of business like locksmith and all that, I thought it was important for us to look at it for someone who's now past the 10-year mark, which is so hard to get to in business, yeah? All right, let's take some.
Oh, beautiful.
Justin, you didn't get to the bit that I was looking forward to.
Yes, sorry.
Was you talking about your passion to be a mentor and
fair
giving back
enough.
to young people?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, look, what I want to do is with my book, look, I've written this book because I wanted it's a catalyst for me. My major passion in life is to teach people to have a go. You know, I think in Australia now we don't have entrepreneurs at a young age when they're not educated. Like when I wasn't educated, and I was lucky I went to a tech school so I could learn on my hands. Now kids, I think, or younger people, or not even younger people, even people in their mid-20s or 30s that don't have that education, I've got it pushed away. So my passion is to obviously get people up and going and have a crack. You know, mate, trust me, man, people look at me and go, you know, if I can do it, you can do it, mate. Trust me, because, mate, if you knew half the crap that goes on in my head, mate, you'd think, no, I can't do it. But that's my major passion. And I will write a book on my life story. That'll be a catalyst to say to people, hey, I own a business. I turned it from nothing. It cost me $5,000 to start my business with a station wagon. You know, I've got 10 guys. I'm not a multi-millionaire, right, by far, but I'm a millionaire in life, mate, because I've proved to myself, and I don't need anyone to tell me anything, I know I'll be a millionaire in my life. But that's what my passion is. My passion is that in the future.
For people that haven't read your book,
yes.
Could you please retell the story that you told me later on, earlier on tonight?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Some of your funny stories?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had plenty of stories. I haven't got this one in the book, but I've got a funny story. I'll tell you about this one. It's a classic. It was a late Friday afternoon, I got a phone call in the car. Bloke screaming, he's going, look, this bloke's locked down in his balcony, you know, it's like a three-way call, you know what I mean? I'm going, it's 120, he's screaming, it's 120, he's going, yeah, bring him in. So I get over there. I rush over there, the guy's locked himself in his balcony, it's a classic. So I'm thinking, this is a bit bizarre, he's on his balcony, that's all good, he's panicking. He's going, mate, just get the door open, get the door open. So he's locked himself out on his balcony, obviously his flat door's closed. What he's done is he's gone up to do his dishes and he's put his plug in the sink, turned the taps on, walked outside to get his clothes, and the door's closed behind him. Oh. So I've come to the flats, and mate, I'm not kidding you, it was like Niagara Falls coming down the steps. I was unbelievable. I was just like, oh shit. So I get in there, there was about that much water in there by the end of it, but I'm a good bloke, I charged him 120 and I stayed there for 2 hours to help him clean it up. So. No worries.
One more.
Yeah, fire away. Oh, sorry, Rick, yeah. Fire away, mate.
What do you suggest is the best way to get testimonials and reviews on people?
Yeah, I'm a massive fan. If you have a look at my site, there's 3 ways I do it. I do it on Google, you know, on the Google Maps, you can put a review down. Word of mouth, true local, Facebook. Now what I do with every customer I go to, I've got a pamphlet that I give to my customers, and I say, thank you very much for the work. Because a lot of people, we take it very seriously, people go, did a really great job. Don't tell me, tell my customers. And I give them a form and it shows you how to do it. It's like point 4, go to this site, do this, do this, do this, do this. Now on word of mouth, I've probably got about 107 reviews. On Google, I've got 50. And mate, trust me, the little 1%, the art of perfection is here. It's a lot of little things done really well. So my opinion to get reviews is obviously get your customers, don't ask them for one, because they go, oh, whatever, give them some information, say, look, I really took pride in the job that I did for you, and I think I did really, really great service. Could you please tell everyone else out in the community how good I am? And that's how you do it.
Give them a flyer.
Exactly right, that's the way I do it
That's
anyway.
an
and I've
awesome idea, I'm
smashed
going to
it,
write it down here.
Very quick one, mate, before I go, so take it around here.
Isn't you like, thanks for your story, mate, thanks.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you like me, we were all going to pop at clogs one day and leave this mortal coil.
Yes, yep.
When that time comes for you and you have to sit down with your kids,
Yep.
what's your lasting words of wisdom you want to leave with them?
Good question, mate. I reckon it's to give, not to take, mate. And because in my 20s, I wasn't. If I saw rich people when I was 20, if I saw a rich person, and I'll be honest with you, and I'm straight down the line, I would go, look at that prick, wanker. What an idiot, mate. I look at people now, I don't care if you are 10 foot tall, $20 million worth man, or a 2'2" man, mate, I look at everyone the same. And I always give. I don't care who they are, what they are. I always, not always do it, because it's sometimes unnatural to do everything right, because I don't do everything right in life, but I always try my hardest. And if I get caught up in something, I always try to do it better myself. So I say to my kids, honestly, I say, listen, life is one life. You know, we ain't coming back. And I'm not being morbid. One life. It's not a stage rehearsal. We don't get another shot at it. I wish we did, because I'd be better at it now than I was right now. But one thing I tell my kids, it's not a stage rehearsal. Live your life, and just to give, mate, not to take so much. Because when you give, you get back in life. Trust me. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in karma. I believe if I be friendly to someone, they'll be friendly to me. If I give them humility, they'll give me humility back. So that's what I teach my kids.
Thank you.
Thanks,